we are going to be watching yesterday's stream together and seeing what is new in the Silent Hill series. I really enjoyed Silent Hill F and the recent Silent Hill 2 remake, so I'm very excited to see what they have in store for us and if we're going to get it this year. All right, chat, are we ready to dive in? So maybe a few words from Konami first.
皆さんこんにちは。サイレントヒルトランスミッションへようこそ。サイレントヒルシリーズのプロデューサー岡本元井です。2022年の発表以来、長い間お待たせしましたが、本日は待望のタイトルサイレントヒルタウンフォールのニュースや情報をついに皆さんにお届けできることを嬉しく思います。
It was 2022 when they first sort of teased this game. So I think, maybe the guy we saw in that trailer is the main character then. Vaguely remember there being a person in it.
本日、ソニーのステートオブプレイでトレーラーを公開し、PlayStation 5、Steam、Epic Games にてウィッシュリスト登録を開始しました。皆様、ぜひご登録よろしくお願いいたします。さらにこの配信独占の最新情報もご用意しています。まずは本プロジェクトのパートナーをご紹介しましょう。アナプルナインタラクティブのインタラクティブ&ニューメディア部門プレジデントヘクター・サンチェスさんとゲーム部門責任者のリアン・ルームさん、そしてスクリーンバーンのライター兼ディレクターのジョン・マッケランさんをお迎えしています。
Oh, it sounds like it's quite a collaborative project then. Silent Hill Townfall, it seems.
皆さん本日はようこそいらしてくださいました。
Thank you, Okamoto-san. At Annapurna, we're always looking to push the boundaries of storytelling, and we couldn't be more excited and honored to have the opportunity to work with you and the entire team at Konami to co-publish Silent Hill Townfall. Annapurna Interactive is a publisher that not only looks for great stories to tell, but also great teams to tell those stories. And we're so pleased to partner with the very special development team that created Silent Hill Townfall, John, and the entire team at Screenburn Interactive.
And this project came about because the team at Annapurna and the team at Screenburn are really passionate about Silent Hill. We're very excited about the unique stories that we're able to tell in this amazing franchise. It's also important to us at Annapurna that the developers we partner with really love the IP that they're working on, and that's exactly what we have with Screenburn.
Yeah, as a fan of the series ever since the release of the first game, it's a real pleasure and an honour to be here today to talk about Townfall. The entire development
They are Scottish!
team and I are so excited to finally be able to share a first look after so many years of development out of sight.
Oh, hang on. We've got double captions. Sorry, I just realised that. There we go. It was because the YouTube captions were on.
皆さんありがとうございます。
The stream already has them, so.
それではまず本日公開されたサイレントヒルタウンホールのリビールトレーラーを振り返りましょう。
Okay, trailer, let's go. Maybe inappropriate for children. Please don't let your kids play this. It's gonna give them nightmares.
Simon, listen to me.
Simon?
You can't stay in this room forever.
That looked like a nurse.
I can't stay in this room forever. I know this is going to be hard. But you have to come back to me.
Whoa! Okay, so immediately we've got the creepy radio again. We've got a nurse. And she seems to know this Simon almost personally. Come back to me.
Back to me, Simon.
I'm assuming this is Simon. Why was he in the water?
I woke up in the water again.
Again?
But this time it's...
Is that why he was... I'm assuming he was in a hospital when this lady is talking to him. That the kind of device he had, though, it looked like one of those like 90s TV thingies. So I wonder if this is like set in the 90s or if it's going to be modern day. Because Silent Hill F was set way back.
Different.
Saint Amelia. First ferry leaves at 8 a.m. Last ferry leaves never. Ferry leaving from here. 6 a.m. 11 a.m. 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Ferry leaving from Lower Beach 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Continuous service weather and circumstances permitting. So we're potentially on an island that's difficult to leave. Oh, yes. That is a standard foggy day in the UK. Whoa, wait, what was that? What was that? What does that sign say? Nothing we can do until help arrives. Please stay safe. So by the time Simon's already got here, potentially, this town is already in trouble. And abandoned. Whatever heart this town had has stopped. This town is ours.
Fix what happened.
Oh, I wonder if... So, was that the room he was in at the beginning then? 204.
But no matter what I do,
You can't fix it. It doesn't let us change things.
Oh, Simon. Born 1959, maybe. Blood type A+. He's still got his hospital tag on. Oh.
You did what you did.
And his IV drip? Chat, do we think Simon might be in a coma? What if he's still in the hospital? Oh, creepy Rookick. At least we get a radio this time that, like, tells us if something's near. So, Silent Hill F, we didn't get that. You just got jumped. Excuse me? What's the ghoul? Oh, like another patient. Okay, so immediately some of his monsters look asylum-esque. Oh dear. Simon, what did you do? The first question is going to be, did Simon do something, or did someone do something horrifically traumatic to Simon? Because usually those are the two, it's usually one of those two things, isn't it? In Silent Hill games. Either they did something really bad, or something bad happened to them, or they did something bad and something bad happened to them. Kind of like Hinako in Silent Hill F. Oh. So we got brand new monsters too. Okay, so it's coming this year, but they're not telling us exactly when. Ooh. Occult stuff. Now, in Silent Hill F, we did have the flowers show up again. The white flowers. That were quite a key part of the plot as well, which suggested maybe the cult's outreach was wider than we thought. So I wonder if this game we're also going to see the flowers pop up again too. And if that is going to be part of the thread that ties it into the rest of the Silent Hill universe. Because now Silent Hill really can be any town that has experienced a severe amount of trauma, which in a way makes it scarier, in a sense, because all it takes is one person with a really messed up mind to just be a problem for everybody else there too. Though in Hinako's case, a lot of that game just happened in her mind, didn't it? Whereas the real tragedy had happened sort of outside of that, and the game itself was more her coming to terms with it. I'm curious how they're going to go about it in this one. It doesn't let us change things, and I woke up in the water again too. It gives you maybe a Groundhog Day time loop. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with Silent Hill 2, especially the remake, really pushed that narrative of James has been here for a long time. I think, didn't the secret code say something about it being 15 years? And as you played, James progressively began to look more haggard and older as the game went on, too, to further suggest that he had been stuck in this time loop for a long time in this town, trying to process his grief. So maybe poor Simon here as well is going to be stuck in a similar fate. But yeah, so we know he's been in hospital at one point because of the IV drip in the hospital tag. Someone's calling out to him who's a nurse, but they seem to be more familiar with him than a nurse is. That's what's making me think maybe he's still in the hospital bed. But we don't know why he's there in the first place yet.
前回のティザートレーラーから続く形でついにポケット
Pocket
テレビの持ち
television.
主
Yeah,
が
that's
明
what
ら
they're
かにな
called.
りましたこのトレーラーはタウンフォールの本質そしてサイレントヒルらしさをしっかりと捉えています
And we can see from the trailer that debuted today that Townfall clearly embodies the DNA of the Silent Hill franchise. It also has quite a unique take, which we know has been really important to the team at Screenburn. And part of that uniqueness comes from their own identity, their perspectives, their history, and their style. So John, we'd love viewers to learn more about Screenburn and your team's history and the work you've done on Silent Hill Townfall.
Absolutely. Our main objectives were to make a game that could feel specific to the team who made it, to bring something new to the series in terms of setting, and to really think about what Silent Hill, both in concept and gameplay, could look like through a Screenburn lens.
Yeah, and it's this lens that appealed to us so much when we started working with you in Screenburn, many years ago. And we knew that with Annapurna's partnership with Konami helping to guide the project, that the three teams together could produce something original, exciting for the fans, and show Silent Hill in a way that hadn't been seen before.
皆様情熱あるメッセージ本当にありがとうございますサイレントヒルの伝統を受け継ぎつつも新しいチームごとに世界観やテーマ美学がどのように解釈されるかを示すことはとても重要です
I kind of like the idea of them giving the franchise to these different studios around the world, and each studio sort of setting the game within a place that's familiar to them and adding their own sort of culture and history into it. I think that's a good way to sort of expand the series, but also give it more room to grow. So, because a lot of Silent Hill F, was not set in the town from before, but I think there had been another game or two before then that wasn't set specifically in the town but still sort of had ties to it. But one thing I really enjoyed about Silent Hill F was the sort of cultural undertones of it and how much they'd put into that. It was very Asian horror. And it was part of what made it uniquely terrifying to, say, Silent Hill 2, for example.
ここでスクリーン版インタラクティブと本作を形作る人々の姿をご覧いただきましょ
う。Glasgow. That's really cool that a Glasgow studio got the chance to make a Silent Hill game. I love that.
We've got our previous games that we worked on over the years. So Super Arclight was our first title that we released back in 2016. Stories Untold, 2017, Observation 2019, and then Silent Hill soon.
Oh, so potentially it's been in development since then.
A collection of Silent Hill games, the thought that we're going to be slotted in at the end there, it is a genuine honour to work with the franchise and to contribute to it. After we shipped Observation, we were kind of like figuring out what we were going to do next.
They had a BAFTA.
And then we got this call from Annapurna to ask us what we would do with Silent Hill. That froze us in our tracks. It's not an opportunity we ever thought we'd get.
The room full of TVs, it's giving me Silent Hill 2 flashbacks.
But it's one we knew we all wanted right away. We pulled together a pitch of what we felt would be a really cool, unique screen burn take and brought it to Konami, and we were delighted that they loved the idea. It was like, this is exactly what we need. This is what we want to do, and we want you to go for it. And so to have their trust in us, both Annapurna and Konami, is a huge honour.
A crime on our community. I can't quite tell what the picture is, though, of the thing crossed out.
So yeah, this is where Graham lives and where design lives.
My name's Graham McKellen. I'm the lead game designer. John is my brother, so we've known each other for a while. We have a lot of the same experiences, films that we watched when we grew up, games that we played. That allows us to work really well together when it comes to finding the synergy between narrative and game design. Very early, we agreed that we wanted to present this game in first person. And
Oof. Okay. My first concern about this game is the first person perspective and only first person perspective. I was kind of hoping we were going to get first and third. Okay. So motion sickness could potentially be a slight issue with this game. We'll see how it goes when it comes out. Maybe it won't be too bad.
first person is,
but I understand
you have a more limited
why
field of view.
they've done that.
There's things happening off screen which you're not always aware of, and you know, as we know in horror, what happens off screen is sometimes more scarier than what happens right in front of you. How we use the perspective to induce the horror, anxiety, and fear, but then at the same time trying to find the balance to that, which is what can we give the player?
You know, one of the first things we set out to do was like, what can we do with the radio that's not been done before?
To be fair, being dizzy in a fog is quite disorientating, so I will give them that.
For what can we do that kind of gives it a new function, a new aesthetic, but it feels Silent Hill, the analog tech that's kind of been my visual calling card. Most of the things we've done, like even in our previous games, has been as close to real life technology as we can get. This is a very small handheld TV, but kind of inspired the CRTV.
The CRTV is, you know, our take on the classic radio. We knew we wanted to have the player bring it up and actually use it, so we were really keen
I think
on
it's going to be
having the player
creepier with this like
with the
image coming in
CRTV
and out
actually
there
go
too,
through the
yeah.
frequencies, discover narrative content, but also being able to use it as a tool to see where enemies were.
Oh, what is that? Oh no! So you not only does it make a noise when they're close, you can kind of see you can see the silhouette of them too on it. Oh.
So yeah, we teach the peak mechanic, which gives the player a little bit extra mobility.
It looks like a Game Boy. I feel like they never really caught on those, the little like analog TVs. I think they thought people would be watching TV like on the go in the future, but yeah, you know, mobile phones happened and those just kind of fell into obscurity.
Where the camera can be, so you can peek up and to the sides to see round corners or over walls.
I keep doing this as I lean.
And it's really important for the first-person perspective, giving the player that
the
extra
enemies look
control over
fast.
the camera.
I don't like that.
For a long time, this game we felt might just be Northern Europe, you know, and not lock it down to Scotland. There was a drive to create something that felt authentic to us, and it kind of felt natural to kind of bring it home.
Okay, I'm glad they did decide to lock it in on Scotland.
John first showed me the game, and I saw this sort of a very obviously Silent Hill, misty, foggy environment. That felt like a walk to school when I was growing up because, you know, I've grown up in towns like this, in a small fishing town that's kind of similar to St. Emilia. It's a beautifully epic, grey, drizzly environment, and we're bringing that to the game.
I love that, basing Silent Hill on your hometown.
It just feels so real, especially when you're going through it in first person. You kind of feel like you're there. It's so detailed, every single thing, and it's all connected to the story.
A very personal story, I know for John as well.
I would have been about 17 or 18 when the first game came out, and I was really ill, high fever, all this kind of stuff. I know I finished it, but the experience I have was like a fever dream, because it literally was. To this day, I've never played it again, because I kind of don't want to know whether what happened that night was real or not. Drawn to the fog ever since. And I think now that we're actually responsible for it and we're actually kind of pulling the rest of the team in, and now we're looking forward to bringing the fans into that fever dream too.
Oh, it was somehow kind of creepy the way you just appeared in the mist then.
グリーンバーンのチームの皆さん、ありがとうございました。自分たちの仕事だけでなく、サイレントヒルの歴史や意味に強い情熱を持つ開発者の姿を目にするのはとても刺激的ですね。各チームがそれぞれのビジョンをサイレントヒルに持ち込み、新しい体験をどのように形作ったのかがよくわかります。さて、公開されたばかりのトレーラーについて語るべきことがたくさんあります。最も注目すべきは本作が一人称視点である点でしょう。過去作にも一人称要素はあるものの、10時間を超える長編。
Oh, that kitchen looks scarily kind of realistic. Oh no. So, the environments are definitely in games these days are definitely getting more detailed.
作品としてこの方式を採用したのはタウンフォールがシリーズ史上初めてです。この視点の変化によりプレイヤーはサイレントヒルの恐怖を新たなレンズを通して目撃することになります。恐怖がプレイヤーのすぐそばに迫るだけでなく、スクリーンバーンが考案した新しい戦闘、回避、謎解きのメカニクスとも見事に調和します。
Absolutely. Every feature of the game has been designed with this perspective in mind, but always making sure that while we see the world in this new way, the experience still feels distinctly Silent Hill. A big part of that experience is centered around enemies and how our protagonist Simon will encounter them. Familiar tools from the world of Silent Hill are all available, planks of wood.
Oh, it's got a plank through its head. It's not like on the side. It's a bit of wood just straight through its head. Oh no! And they're way faster than the sausage strippers.
Pipes and ranged weapons like the pistol, but the ability to sneak, hide and evade brings a new element of choice to the combat, where resorting to violence isn't the only option. In fact, with the aid of the pocket television, known as the CRTV in the game, evasion is every bit as useful a survival technique as facing enemies head-on. Players are encouraged to experiment and find a playstyle that suits them while being mindful of the resources and the opportunities that surround them.
わかりやすい例が覗き込みですよね。サイモンは物体や壁の上から、あるいは周りから
I do like that we can kind of hide behind things and have a peek. Because I feel like I've subconsciously been doing that throughout the other Silent Hill games anyway. Despite there not being a sort of like cover mechanic.
上に身を乗り出して敵の様子を確認でき、発見される可能性を下げることができます。この要素は遭遇前の慎重さが生かされるだけでなく、見た目、手触りの面でとても映画的な表現になっています。
Indeed. That additional level of fine control provided to the player works especially well in first person, and it allows players to cautiously assess an encounter before they make a decision to evade or charge in. In first person, features like the peek or the CRTV become more immersive, rendering details up close in the character's hands and all in a tactile and physical way rather than using on-screen HUD elements. These features really shine in first person, and as the game progresses, players will be challenged in many different ways. Using the right technique at the right time is vital for Simon's survival.
ジョンさん、次は新主人公サイモン・オーデルに目を向けてみましょう。シリーズのキャラクターは皆心に重いものを抱えていますが、 サイモンも例外ではありません。彼は多層的で不安定、そして非常に人間的です。トレーラー
I mean, in a way, like, the protagonist really ends up shaping the town, don't they? Like, the town is them, in a sense. Is the characters in a turmoil going to be out of Iron Brew? If we don't see a giant Iron Brew monster. Is that what you're saying?
冒頭で主人公であるサイモンが今回舞台となる町セントアメリアに縁があることが示唆され、彼の困難な旅が始まります。ジョンさん、彼が島へ向かう事情、そしてプレイヤーが踏み入れる物語について視聴者の皆様に特別に教えてもらえますか?
Well, I knew when beginning to write the game that fans would have certain expectations about the worlds, characters, and the themes that permeate the series. I wanted to both lean into those expectations in some ways and subvert them in others. Guilt is a strong theme throughout Silent Hill's many stories, and I wanted to dive deeper into the various different ways that guilt can manifest, where it comes from, what it can do to people, and how...
What did you do, Simon? What did you do?
If you can, come to accept or resolve it. So while those narrative themes are distinctly Silent Hill, we're looking at and interpreting those themes in a very different way.
ゲームの冒頭、サイモンは物事を終わらせてほしい、それが正しいことだと告げる謎の電話を受け取ります。トレーラーで見た通り、彼は島に到着しますが、
Chap, if you get a mysterious phone call, it tells you to go to an island or a town. Don't go! Your chances of surviving will be exponentially increased if you do not go to where the creepy phone call tells you to go. So it also looks like this town is on an island, maybe too, Sunder, because there was mention of, like, we were looking at the trailer in depth and the ferry. There was supposed to be a ferry leaving the town, but there was no information for that. So you can go, but you can't leave. But yeah, it did look like it's a place that's kind of maybe difficult to leave.
この段階ではどうやって来たのか不明であり、サイモン自身も向かう先が分かっていないように見えます。
Well, a core component of our team's narrative style that has been present in all of our previous games is mystery. Simon's journey through the town is layered with nuance and questions where players will gradually uncover both small details and big reveals, and they'll be kept guessing throughout. There are other characters to meet along the way too, and understanding Simon's connection to them is key to the narrative.
So are they all going to be people Simon knows, or is it going to be like James, where they're just people who got swept up in the chaos? It's sounding like they might be people Simon knows, though, from what he's saying. This is going to be one for us, Sunder. Growing up in the UK, foggy towns, yeah. I don't know if that's going to make it more scary, though, or less. Because, like, we're used to a fog, you know. It's going to have to be extra thick to scare us.
Some mysteries will pay off as the game progresses, and some will deepen further, inviting players to dive deep into the world and the details spread around the town.
サイモンの旅がどのようなものになるのか楽しみにしていただければと思います。さて、次はタウンフォールの舞台となる街、セントアメリアについてご紹介しましょう。サイレントヒルのキャラクターを街と切り離すことはできません。世界は彼らを映し出し、試し、変えていきます。サイモンの旅を理解するには、彼が身を置く街を理解する必要があります。それでは、セントアメリアのインスピレーションとなったスコットランドの実際の場所を見てみましょう。
One of the devs said it was kind of based on their hometown specifically. But yeah, it did seem like Silent Hill F. There was a town they basically had an idea for and took pictures around there, and it's going to be very reminiscent of it.
East coast of Scotland.
Here we go. Yeah.
Graham and I have been many times over the years. We took Paul up when he joined the team, and I think this is Linda's first time.
It is, yeah.
So you're going to get a bit of a shock when you're in St. Amelia.
As a QA lead, I think I have played probably 3,000 hours of this game, but I've actually never explored those real towns, so I'm excited to see it.
I think you'll definitely play this, though.
know, the sound of the place.
Oh,
all of that
I love
together is
Scotland.
what you're trying to recreate. You're not just trying to recreate the visuals. You're trying
So
to recreate
beautifully
the vibe.
gloomy.
And there's no better way of doing it than spending time there.
It's really important to not live your life behind a lens and just absorb the place when you're there. So I suppose it's always important for artists to get out and see the place that they're supposed to be making.
Graham and I were chasing fog. Well, I dragged Graham out with me. I was like, I need someone in front of the camera when I take these images.
I love that they
Fog
kind of
was
went
so
out as a
dense,
team too.
That when we came out here, we got to like this spot, and from here we couldn't see the coast anymore, and we couldn't tell which direction the coast was in, and we immediately felt like in danger. And we ended up with this shot here.
Ooh.
The atmosphere is like blue and light. The sun was going.
Yeah,
out.
it already looks like
Everything
Silent Hill,
from that
doesn't
moment
it?
was when we kind of realized how this game was going to begin.
Love it.
We have this fog that rolls in on the east coast of Scotland called a har. I got pretty obsessed chasing the har. You know, I wasn't painting images. I wasn't like trying to like imagine what the fog would look like. I could go to a town that looks like St. Amelia and find a fog that looks like Silent Hill and come back and show the team, here's what the game needs to look like. You know, and I would drag other people on my trips with me and be like, you gotta come too. And they're like, really? It's 4 a.m.
That's the best time.
So that when we come back to the studio, we can try and recreate what we felt, not just what we saw. This was like the first beautiful corner that we did. And then as we get around this corner, yeah, it's literally the same.
Actually, yeah.
Yep.
This is so cool.
Yep.
I hope we have that in the game. The seaweed.
This was the first pier I think we came to. And we walked along a bunch of other piers as well, just to kind of see the differences and, yeah, the kind of shapes that they make and how they're used, that kind of thing, you know.
I kind of love this, like when this kind of like behind the scenes where you get to see the creative process, especially from basically the drawing board, you know, when the real life inspirations that end up going into the game. I think a harbour town is a great place to set this too, because the fog's gonna be way thicker there as well. You're gonna pre-order this immediately. I mean, they already had me with Silent Hill set in Scotland, to be fair.
This is it. This is very similar to our St. Amelia pier.
So we're in St. Monans. This is the
St.
harbour
Monans.
town, and was the first place that we built for the game. When I started to
See him
write the
taking
story
texture shots there too.
about what this town was, what happened to this town, the isolation was a big factor. There's like an existential dread that comes with that. Silent Hill has always had a sense of like not being able to leave the town and face why you're there. That isolation isn't just for the protagonist, but also for the town. It's like they've got to do what they got to do. You just have to get on with it, and you have to solve the problem. There's no running away.
Like Gosby said earlier, Hotel California.
I think it's because a lot of stuff are so similar to in-game, even like the slanted walls, the colors. Wherever the benches are placed is exactly the same as in-game.
There's something already quite haunting about this town with just how dimly lit it seems to be at night. Too, like there's not that many street lights, and the street lights it does have, they're very, very dim, warm tone too, aren't they?
These alleyways kind of snake through the entire town. They're really fun to walk up and down in real life, but when you've got a monster chasing you, it's just not a nice place to be.
Coming up there,
There was
this
a
is
lot of
one
that in
the
Silent Hill
slopes
F
that,
too.
when I first came here, I was like looking at all the textures, and luckily Unreal allows us with Nanite to just sort of layer on loads of meshes and textures
Love
on top
that.
of each other. I don't know what this is. Bits of like rag and tarpaulin, like the glove, for instance. There, it's just like layers upon layers upon layers of
Wow.
life and history.
Just a glove that has become part of the floor now because it's been there for so long, and just dirt and grime is covered over it.
You're mimicking several hundred years worth of life.
Yeah, I'll have a lot of
That's
history, that town.
That's what we aim to do. And a lot of the time, the player will
It's
just
so
sort of
beautiful,
walk
though.
around and absorb it, and they won't know why it feels like a real place, but the effort that we've put in will make them feel like it's a real place, and it will give them that sense of history, and yeah.
It's a big moment for us, definitely. For me personally, for the team, you know, we're all big fans. I think that's an understatement to say big fans. You know, we're obsessed. To be trusted with a franchise like this, it's an honor, and we want to make sure we ace it. So we're giving it our all to create something that's really new and really unique.
It's got that foreboding winter sunset vibe. It does, doesn't it?
センターメディアのインスピレーションや再現方法について貴重なお話をありがとうございました。細部へのこだわりが新しい世界観をリアルに感じさせています。こうした丁寧な作り込みはシリーズならではの大切な魅力です。最後にタウンホールの規模や構成についてお話ししましょう。
For sure. And while Annapurna has been primarily known over the last decade for independent games from smaller teams, Townfall is no small game. In fact, it's among some of the biggest games that we've ever published.
And while Screenburn is a relatively small development studio,
okay,
at about 30 people, they have been afforded the development time to really realise their creative vision for Townfall. And as a result, Townfall is a full-length, high-quality game that we can all present with confidence following Silent Hill F and Silent Hill 2.
スクリーンバーン、アナプルナ、コナミの3社が手を組み作り上げたサイレントヒルのエッセンスをしっかり取り入れたタイトルとなっています。今年皆さんにサイレントヒルタウンホールを実際にプレイしてもらえることを非常に楽しみにしています。本日のサイレントヒルトランスミッション
There's something really creepy about the sudden cuts in him talking that have been happening. They just changed the camera perspective. I don't know why. It's happened a few times now and it's made me go, oh.
ミッションはこちらで終了となります。
Getting the
最後
jump
に
scares
視
in
聴者の
early.
皆さんへ向けて一言ずつメッセージをお願いします。
We're so thankful for your patience, and we can't wait to show you more of what we have in store for you in Townfall. We see this project not only as our biggest and most ambitious game yet, but as a love letter to the series that inspired many of the team, myself included, to become game developers in the first place. It's truly an honour to be given this opportunity to contribute to the series, and on behalf of the team at Screenburn, thank you for your support and your encouragement over the years.
We've loved working with the entire team at Screenburn and are very proud of the game they've created. Our goal at Annapurna is to support our developers so they can focus on making the best possible game. It's been amazing to see Townfall come to life throughout development. Thank you to Screenburn for their partnership, and thank you to Konami for trusting us with the Silent Hill franchise.
Silent Hill Townfall is a labor of love for everybody involved and a true collaboration across the three teams. From the amazing team in Scotland at Screenburn to the revered publisher Konami, not only in Japan but around the world, and ourselves, who are very humbled by the opportunity at Annapurna to co-publish a game for the first time with an existing franchise and bring our unique take to this historic franchise.
スクリーンバーン、アナプルナ、コナミの3社で長い時間をかけて作り上げてきた作品を発表することができて本当に良かったです。本日お見せした通り、非常に丁寧に作り上げていますので、皆様ぜひ楽しみにお待ちください。本日お届けしたサイレントヒルタウンホールは、
Okay, we can already
PlayStation
wishlist
5 と
it. Not pre-order though, it
Steam、Epic
seems.
Games にてウィッシュリスト登録受付中です。ぜひ登録をお願いいたします。また、サイレントヒルトランスミッションでは今後も継続してサイレントヒルシリーズの情報を
So there's going to be some more transmission streams.
皆さんにお届けしてまいります。次回
Hopefully that means it's not coming out in March then.
もどうぞお楽しみに。本日はご視聴いただき誠にありがとうございました。
So yeah, sometime this year. So fingers crossed later in the year. Because March is busy. March is very, very busy for us. If it comes out around Halloween, that'd be absolutely perfect, honestly. Oh no, they got the siren, it's slightly different. I wonder if, I guess we're gonna hear that in the game too then. Alright, so what do we think of Silent Hill Townfall so far, chat? Personally, I'm pretty excited. Silent Hill set in Scotland, to start with, already intrigues me. Because it's something familiar to me as well. You love the setting for this game. I think a seaside town in Scotland is perfect because it's not foggy on a normal day. So you've already got the atmosphere there, haven't you, for a good Silent Hill game? And it's also a town that will have a lot of history to it because it's got a lot of the buildings you could see in that town that they based it off were quite old as well. So there'll be a lot of history in the town that they can build some lore on. I mean, one question is, why is the town in trouble? And why is everyone gone? Are they the creatures? What happened to them? There was a lot of sort of asylum-based creature imagery as well, so I'm curious what kind of hospital he was in. He said he'd ended up in the sea again, so I wonder if he'd had some kind of, you know, episode and they'd institutionalized him, and that's where he was, and that's where the nurse was talking to him. But he did have an IV drip as well, suggesting he might have been in some kind of accident too. And I suppose if he'd had an accident in the sea, that could also explain it. But yeah, because it's the monsters having like the straitjackets that's making me wonder if it was more on that line of things. Yeah. But we've not seen many of the monsters yet, so I think perhaps as we see more, it might offer more clues. Does look like we're going to be in the 90s. So I think he was born in like the 50s. Maybe like pushing 40 then. If he was born at the sort of very end of the 50s. I do love the TV radio. That's going to be great. And I think being able to see the silhouettes of the monsters in the fog is going to make it a little scarier too, because you're not going to want to go forward if you know, like, or you can see like a vague image of something moving, but you're not entirely sure what it is. You're really not going to want to move forward in that situation. But yeah, overall, I'm very excited for this and to see more. So if they do some more transmissions, we will watch those together as well and react to them and anticipate the launch. I will add this to our wish list at the end of stream today.